Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and today I'm finally getting around to all of the Year 6 Season 1 videos that I've been meaning to make. This season, we're seeing a big push from the game to start tying in and crossing over with many of the other properties and projects within the Division universe. Some of these are a bit more obvious, whereas some are a bit more subtle. And it's especially those subtle ones that get me the most amped up, particularly because it's something I frankly never expected to see involving characters that I never thought we would see again. So this all has been one of the most compelling elements of this season so far for me, and so I want to talk about it. We'll dive right in. As always, if you enjoyed the video and you want to stay in the loop with all aspects of the Division 2 all the time, then be sure to click that subscribe button. There's plenty more on the way, but let's go. Alright, let's start off with the more apparent crossover they're doing this season, and I know at least a good fair number of you have already picked up on this as I've gotten several messages about it and we discussed it back when the season was revealed at Ubisoft Forward. The apparel event that is starting in just 2 days from now on Tuesday the 25th is titled Crossroads, and that's because it is exclusively featuring outfits worn by characters in the Operation Crossroads Division novels. Now, in case you haven't heard my endorsements for these books before, I'll try and leave some links down below to the reviews I've done, discussions, whatever. The 3 books are Recruited, Compromised, and Hunted, and if you are invested at all in the Division 2 story and lore, then I argue that these are kind of a must-read. Not only are they really great tales themselves with all new locations, factions, and situations compared to the games, but by the time you finish all 3, there's a lot of illumination given to many of the concepts and lore that we're only beginning to understand in the Division 2, and there might just be some pretty cool character crossovers in there as well, but now they're flipping the script and highlighting these characters within the game. We had already gotten some name drops like Myra, the main protagonist of the books, and her brother Kazi in some of the comms and audio lines during Year 5, but this is without question the most direct crossover and spotlighting that they'll have done yet. I can't seem to find the place where I first read this, so take it with a grain of salt until we see for sure on Tuesday, but I'm pretty sure that somewhere it said the 4 main outfits to collect in the event will be Myra, Brenda, Leo, and Colin, which are 4 of the main agents featured in the books. And then we can see from the season calendar in-game that the completion outfit will be Rowan's, who is the villain from Recruited. Now, I did also want to mention, book fans might be like, okay, that's great that those outfits are in the event, but where's Yang Jia? Who, for anyone who doesn't know, is the 5th main agent and part of the squad who appeared in both Compromised and Hunted. Well, the outfit that you collect from ranks 95 to 100 on the premium side of the season pass is actually her outfit, and all of the corresponding pieces are named accordingly. And total side note, I'm in love with that jacket. It's like all I'm wearing right now on any of my outfits. But yeah, anyway, between the event and the pass, this season is going heavy on the Crossroads crossovers. Say that 10 times fast. But I think it's a super cool thing for them to do. The books took such heavy inspiration and practically tied right into the ongoing Division 2 story that I think it's only right to have the game pay a little homage back the other way. And in my opinion, it's always cool to see a universe that's meant to be connected actually connect in new and exciting ways. So I'm definitely looking forward to see the outfits in full on Tuesday. From a purely visual standpoint, not accounting for their lore significance, I'm not sure how popular this event is going to be with the wider community. This is a look at some of the outfits in motion from the season trailer, and you know, obviously all apparel is subjective, people enjoy different things, but in general there tends to be a lot better reception for those darker militaristic outfits compared to the brighter and more civilian ones, which is what it seems like this is trending more towards. I think it's important to have somewhat of a balance of both to please a wider number of players, but yeah, I'll be interested to see people's thoughts once we get our hands on these. Okay, so that is the more apparent Crossroads crossover happening this season. Now let's talk about the other one, which frankly I'm an even bigger fan of. As much as I love the books, this next thing that we're going to talk about was just so far out of left field, but it sparks about a million different questions and theories, for me at least. And so, this has all gone down within the first 2 Descent comms released so far this season, and in case you didn't see, yes, they added more Descent comms with Year 6. I'm sure someone's punching a wall right now, but hot damn, have they started out strong here, in my opinion. So, spoilers to follow if you don't want to know what these comms contain if you want to try and go collect them for yourself, but here we go. These comms depict conversations held between Aaron Keener and Division Agent Melanie Hoskins. Now, that second name might not seem familiar to you at first. It definitely took me a second for it to click in my brain, but Melanie Hoskins was the central character and protagonist portrayed in the Division Hearts on Fire, which again, that name might not ring a bell for everybody. I'd argue it's the most fringe Division transmedia project we've gotten, certainly the most unique one, but in my opinion that doesn't detract in the slightest from its quality. It was a really cool story and presentation. If you haven't haven't heard of it or checked it out before, I'll certainly leave a link down in the description. But what it was an Audible exclusive audio drama, I think they called it. The best way I can describe it is a movie without the picture, where you're purely listening, right? It's an audiobook, except everything else is foleyed in. There's footsteps, door latches, gunshots, glass breaking, on top of all the characters interacting and conversing and all of that. But clocking in at 5.5 hours, it was a really in-depth and compelling Division story. The basic premise is that we follow Melanie being recruited into the Division organization, the world begins to fall apart, and we see her deal with the early days of the Green Poison outbreak in New York as a first wave agent. There's vignettes from some Last Man Battalion members, which was cool, and then a big focus is on the Cleaners, as Hoskins' sister is actually a member of them, and the two of them have to clash given their opposing ideologies. So, like I said, really cool story and project in my opinion. Also, there were some pretty big name actors attached to this. Katie Sackhoff from The Mandalorian and Battlestar Galactica, that's at least where I know her best from, plays Melanie, and then Shannon Woodward from Westworld and many more things plays her sister. But yeah, circling back to the present day, Hearts on Fire was a very standalone project. It released back in 2021. Its story was centered around the time period of the Division 1 with a seemingly very definitive ending. But lo and behold, here we are in 2024 and Melanie reappears in these latest Descent comms, chatting with Aaron Keener, of all people. This raises a bunch of questions for me. For one, when exactly does this conversation take place? Obviously, it's sometime after Hearts on Fire and the early outbreak, but how far beyond that? Also, what has prompted her to want to talk with a rogue agent to begin with? I mean, in fairness, there were some compromising events within Hearts on Fire that I could see contributing to her maybe questioning her loyalties. That's all I'll say without spoilers. But I wonder if more has happened since then for her to even want to talk to Keener? Or conversely, why does he want to talk to her? In week 2's comm, he seemingly tries to win her over with a reassurance over her family safety, and he pitches her a mission. But yeah, I'm sure we'll get more details as we go on. For now, things are a bit unclear. But man, like I said, never in a million years would I have guessed that we'd see Melanie again, let alone talking to Keener, but it's pretty damn cool to have her back. I did put some feelers out and confirm that she's no longer being voiced by Katie Sackhoff, which isn't a huge shock given her popularity and likely the cost it is to hire her. But of course, it's the same character that we knew and met. And you know, there's not many agents and characters out there who we have this deep understanding of their backstory for. Melanie is one of the people on that short list, right? We spent several hours seeing her journey, understanding her motivations. So I'm really excited to see where this storyline leads. I'm certainly hoping that it's the main focus for the Descent comms this season. So there you have it, folks. Those are two of the big Division Universe crossovers that have happened so far this season. You all know that I really enjoy following the story across all mediums in this franchise. So for those of you out there who do too, I definitely wanted to shout these out, spotlight them for anybody who hadn't caught on. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on the implications of these crossovers. Of course, if you've got any takes on the Crossroads outfits we're getting, but definitely with Hearts on Fire's revival and Melanie's appearance, what do you make of it? Where do you see that storyline going in the Descent comms? And do you think it could potentially lead to an eventual cameo by Melanie herself in the game, you know, with Keener's revived presence in the story? That's where my mind wanders to. Who knows if it'll really happen, but I'm just glad they're doing it, period. As I said, it's really cool to see her return. But that's all I've got for this one, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. RogueGold. Out.